Good day, planet Earth. Michael Litten, the last DJ host of Ride the Vibe, and I am that guy my dear friend Peter Perkins from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is singing about. Not playing his song on the radio, but playing it on a podcast, broadcasting from the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Sandbox Studio South, y'all. Mike Natchez, the owner, proprietor, and on the technology, along with the G, the infamous G. Those of you in the Atlanta area, you would know G from Dirty South TV. And then doing social media, I don't know anything about. I'm one step above a Luddite, but I know we need social media. And James Thomas, trumpeter extraordinaire, who's going to Georgia State on a scholarship for trumpet, is on the social media. Super stoked to have in the studio Jeannie Caryn and Rick Reese.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome. I mean, thank you.
Either way, you can say whatever you want, Jeannie. You're on Ride the Vibe.
That's awesome.
At the Sandbox.
She's riding. She's vibing.
That's right.
You guys are here as Sonic Joyride
That's right.
was performing alternative and a pioneering alternative rock band co-founded in the 90s by Rick Reese, Christopher Hobler, and drumroll.
And for the drummer, Edward DiMuzio, he was our drummer.
Love it. Recognized by MTV, CNN, Billboard, Guitar Magazine, and more, the band was known for its innovative live shows, powerful songwriting, and boundary-pushing performances, all way before the era of streaming, social media, when every note was about live energy and connection. And you all are going to perform 4 songs.
Wow.
And in the studio.
Did you mention that we're sponsored by Cathead
in the
Vodka?
studio, we
Cheers to
are
Cathead.
featuring Cathead vodka.
Right. So
They're
maybe-
honeysuckle.
That's right. It's
And
very good.
And it's very tasty.
You know-
If you all are, you do the sweetened vodkas and they're too sweet, honeysuckle, this Cathead vodka, not only is it tasty, but it's not overpowering.
No,
Excellent.
it's
Is
delicious.
that the cutaway commercial cam?
Yeah, that is the cutaway
Whenever
commercial
I'm
can.
on, Ride the Vibe, I drink
Cathead.
Cathead Vodka. Whenever I'm at the grocery store, I drink Cathead Vodka.
I don't think you can get that at the grocery store.
No, you can only get it at
this is
the
a
liquor store.
It's a higher shelf.
Well,
And
look
for,
at that.
Yeah, and for folks that don't know, Cathead is the oldest distillery in the state of Mississippi. Because check this history out. Mississippi was the last state in the Union to do away with Prohibition.
Wow.
Interesting.
And we love Cathead not only because it's tasty, but they support live music.
Well, that's really the most important thing.
Thank you, Rick. Exactly.
Yes.
mean-
And it's delicious.
And it's tasty. It's
very
And
good.
we're just not saying that because
Yeah.
we're drinking it.
We've been drinking it.
Yeah, for a while. So
is-
if we stumble, if the last DJ
So-
stumbles over his words, that might be
this
why.
is reminiscent of the old match game, right? So they taped in one day.
2 and 2.
No. That's Chuck Woolery.
Oh, that's Love Connection. Never mind.
No, I'm talking about old school Gene Rayburn
Yeah.
match game. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all shot on whatever day.
Yeah.
By the time Friday's episode, they're so drunk.
Yeah, they're wasted.
You got Charles Nelson Riley and remember
Oh,
those?
I remember that.
So
yeah.
I'm just saying, this is reminiscent
Wait, is
of
that
that.
the
'cause we've had a few.
bounce,
We've had
bounce,
this stuff.
bounce.
But we're
That one?
not there yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. We might be. But we like to encourage our listeners
This
to
is the
sit
beginning.
back in a comfortable environment, get a beverage of their choice, and we're hoping they'll get some Cathead.
Cathead,
And of course, mention that they heard about it on Ride the Vibe. And Jeannie, you have been. This is a first. You're the first guest on for the 3rd time.
That's right.
A 3-timer.
A 3-timer. Because you have a brilliant solo
3rd time's
career.
the charm.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, with Sonic Joyride.
That's right.
But you came on as a solo artist,
I did.
singer-songwriter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. And Rick, this is your 2nd time.
This is my 2nd time. I'm a 2-timer.
Yeah. And you were on with Puzzle Truck, which is the other band project you worked with.
Yes, correct.
And your partner in crime,
It's Stephen Blackburn.
who
Yay,
was
Steven.
the one
Yes.
that brought the Cathead honeysuckle.
And I think at the time, we were the first guests to actually bring you a gift.
Yes. So, Stephen, thank you, brother.
Stephen. And that is Stephen. Stephen Blackburn is one of the most generous people that I've ever
This
met.
is true.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
We love him.
And
Yeah.
we actually did a double bill with Sonic Joyride and Puzzle Truck
Yeah.
at Mad Life here in Woodstock.
Where can they find
Georgia.
that, Rick? Where can they find that?
Nowhere at the moment.
Not out yet.
Soon.
Oh no, yeah.
And Mike Natchez and I were blessed because Stephen was generous enough to provide us tickets to be there for the live performance. And it was
Correct.
spectacular.
Yeah, that
Thank
was great.
you.
And we appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
But enough about Stephen Blackburn and Puzzle Truck.
Oh, he's not going to reveal. It's like this
This
is your
is all
life.
about
and here you
Sonic.
come.
Wait, is he going to come out
Did
from
he come out
behind the
behind the
curtain?
curtain? Like, this is
From
your
the
life?
green room. No, he's not
Right.
coming out.
He
But this
would.
is all about Sonic Joyride. And we have a teaser at the very end of the show. We're going to unveil something very special.
Mm-hmm.
So you stick with us. But we're going to play.
We are?
We're going to play one track,
Yeah.
an MP3 track. But then the rest of the show is all live right here at the Sandbox Studio South,
great.
y'all.
Yeah, it's
And we're
gonna
not
be
going
a
to
thing.
divulge where it is because we don't want
Oh, no.
paparazzi
No, we're in
hassling
a
us
secret
over
and
there. No.
undisclosed location.
That's right.
So we're going to queue up, I think, if we could, fellas, TV News Disease, which was off of Sonic Joyride.
This is our debut album in 1995.
Yeah.
And you'll see Ed and Chris in the photo I think you're
Yeah.
going to have on the screen.
Yeah, on the screen.
And that was our first, I think it was our very first photo shoot at Sonic Joyride. We'd actually been in a band for a few years prior to that, different names, The Evidence, Spent Paris. But yeah, that was in a New Hampshire at a dump. And it was a window frame that was on the ground.
And you just picked it up.
Yeah, so that's a
It's
pretty...
an iconic shot.
At
I
this
think.
point in my career, yes. At the time, it was awesome, but time is a crazy thing,
Yes.
and this song was written, and it's kind of appropriate because this song is called "TV News Disease,"
Yeah.
about how it's a psychosomatic, the psychosis and paranoia, and just ridden,
Yeah.
Media induced.
media
Yes.
induced. And then, here we are 25 years later, or almost 30 since the song was written, that it's almost as, if not more poignant today than it was then.
And I
it's,
think that's
Timeless.
That's a sign of a great song.
right.
And I said to you all kind of offline, for my era, it is a thematic of I'm the Slime by Frank Zappa.
Right
And
on.
if you all don't know Frank Zappa, you better check him out.
Right on.
That's
But
right.
we're going to play Sonic Joyride's TV News Disease. We're only doing a couple minutes, y'all, because we want you to go seek it out and actually buy it from somewhere where Sonic Joyride might be able to make some money.
Yeah, well, the thing
You might
is,
have to wait.
the
Well,
thing
that's
is,
all right.
The music is not available commercially
Well, so they're going to hear it and then
because
that's
it was before streaming, it was before
Yeah.
everything, and Chris passed away before all this
Yeah.
could be. So this is you can actually buy the albums on eBay.
Well, there you go. Good. We'll go to eBay and buy it there after you hear this great song. So if we could, fellas, cue up TV News Disease off of Sonic Joyride's self-titled album.
First self-titled debut album.
Debut album. We'll be right back, y'all.
Son, I've got bad news. Your health is fine, it's all in your mind, but something worse is wrong. So try and be strong. You've got a chronic case of something that's been going round. It's called sympathetic paranoid TV news disease. And as long as there are reporters, there's no cure to be found. But I've got some advice I've used all my life. I said it today, and I'll say it the day I die. It goes, life goes, life goes on to the beat of life goes, life goes on the rhythm of our life goes on, keeps the pulse of life goes on, and I am hanging
love it. You are back on Ride the Vibe. Michael Litten, the last DJ, hosted the show, and just queued up the first song of 5 we're going to play. And Rick, talk about that song a little, flesh it out a little bit more in your relationship with Chris, co-founder.
Well, first, it's a quirky song.
Yeah.
And in 1995, I was, 25? 6? 5?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was young.
Young, yeah.
And, when I met Chris, so just some background, Chris Hobler was the singer, guitar player.
Yeah.
That particular track was written by Chris, myself, and Ed. And we had gotten together in the late 80s, actually.
89, right?
1989.
Yeah.
And we, we were called The Evidence at the time. And, Boston band and, the bar scene and all that. A lot of bars that aren't there anymore, The Channel, Bunratty's, Club 3, Paradise. And it was great, and that went on. We're just a bar band, really. And then we changed the name to Spam Paris, and we started getting really kind of eclectic. And we moved to New Hampshire, and we moved into the woods, and we started being weirder.
That happens.
Yeah.
All the Woodstock bands.
Yeah, right. But then, we had a second singer, and, we parted ways, and we ditched all that material and started fresh and called it Sonic Joyride, and that was in 1994. And by the next year, we had that album, and that was the last track on the record. And, you get that little beeping sound. And I remember playing that on the Juno 106 in the, in the studio, just listening to the end of the tail end of that song, hearing his voice and just telling me that life goes on. Because this is a new revival of the band.
Yeah.
It's been dormant since he passed away, and I've just now gotten to myself in a position where it made sense emotionally and with the people in my community that of talented musicians that I could had my pick of.
Yeah.
To put together something that I thought was respectful and would continue on the mission with the band that we started together. And his 60th birthday is coming up, and I thought no better gift than to,
Well, we are so
just play
honored
the
that you're
music.
on Ride the Vibe. Talk about your bandmates that are going to perform the live songs as well.
I have Jeannie Caryn will
Jeannie
be
Caryn.
performing the lead vocals. Now,
Yes.
we must address this.
Yes.
Obviously, you just heard the track, and Chris is a man,
Yes.
and he is a very, very awesome man, talented musician, and
Beautiful
Dear,
soul.
and dear friend.
And dear,
Yeah.
I mean, I spent from the moment I met him in 1989 until he was diagnosed. I would imagine I'd spent just about every day of almost 11 years either with him or on the road or in the office, because we had our own record label at the time. I mean, the 90s, just after that record was recorded, we kind of went rogue because the whole 90s was infested with the big label and the manufactured sound and the overproduced sounds, the limited retail space, the limited airtime.
Yeah.
And so we were fortunate to have investment, and we formed a record company. Chris formed a record company, and then when something just went against the grain in a major way.
Yeah.
And we could talk about later, but we had developed things with a school bus that we had put a stage on the top, and we put the sound system
And I
inside.
want to talk about that more.
Yeah, we'll get to
'cause
that.
That's really special.
Our alternative
Well,
marketing.
cheers to Chris Brown.
And cheers to
Yep.
Chris.
And I know you mentioned to me offline that you could feel his spirit.
Well, that's
at
what I was
Mad Life
saying. At
when
Mad
you-
Life Show,
Yeah.
it was during one of the songs, I literally felt like he was reaching into my body and pulling a mask away from my face, and I could see clearly just,
Yeah.
instead of living, this band isn't an exercise of nostalgia
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
It's a continuation, and
Right.
it's for the future.
Yeah.
Music breathes and lives, and it touches people. And
Timeless.
It's
TV
timeless.
news disease, still timeless. 25,
And most
like
of his
you said.
music is timeless and non-specific. I mean,
Yeah.
it's specific and personal to him, but there's
And
so many
to all of you,
interpretations.
the band created all that music.
True,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that it's a universal themes,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that we'll get to. Well, I was going to say, here's Jeannie. We just introduced her as the
Yeah.
singer.
And then you got the other two. members.
Yes, Thierry Bergeron on drums.
Yeah. Or as we like to say, Thierry.
It's Thierry. That's
Yes.
Thierry.
He is
Thierry.
French
He is
out of
French.
Montreal, Canada.
That's correct.
and
French
really
Canadian.
holds down the drums
Yeah.
brilliantly, doesn't he?
And the role of the drumming position in this group is, you know, we have a lot of technology going on,
Yeah.
and you know, the drum we had. Edward was our first drummer.
Yep.
Edward DeMusio, and then our second drummer was Paul Solin, and then after that, the rest of the drummers were hired. So it was basically Sonic Joyride became Chris and Rick.
Yeah.
But we had great drummers, and
Yeah.
so Terry is a perfect
How
successor.
did you? What's the connection with Thierry?
Well, he and I appreciate you saying it correctly. Why I look like an ignorant
Well, only
fool,
because
I can only say Terry.
I follow the beautiful game. That would be soccer.
Terry.
And there is a brilliant French player, all world, Thierry Henry.
Thierry.
I'm going to call him
Thierry.
T-Sauce,
That might work. That would work.
Yeah, but at any rate,
T-boy.
how did you meet?
So, well, I mean, T-Sauce is
Yeah.
is a professional musician, right? As we all are.
Yeah.
And I had many of occasions to play with him, and you know, and also with Puzzle Truck, he's sat in a few times, and Puzzle Truck's gone through lots of. Going through is the wrong word. We've guested and hosted and shared the stage with many drummers,
Right.
and we have a handful that we call like sort of
Yeah,
family
right,
members,
right.
and you know, he is certainly one of those. But when the opportunity came to something exclusive that I thought should be put in the hands of someone who could handle the material and understand, you know, the message.
Yeah.
You know, it's we're trying to just honor my bud.
Yeah.
And
And then on
perform-
guitar, you've got
and Tommy Wails. It's
Wow.
amazing that the guy was named Wails, and it
Yes.
happens that he could have grown up as an accountant.
What a great guitarist too. How what's the connection with Tommy?
Well, Tommy again, he was you know, in the scene.
Yeah.
You know, I see him.
I've known Tommy since 2010, I think.
No way.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
a long time.
So Jeannie and I are life partners,
Yes.
and
You're going to share a song that's very special, so you're going to have to stay with us.
right. But when I got with her,
Yeah.
my social circle grew.
Yeah, I love
So
it.
so many more wonderful people. That I
should
can-
we hear-
We didn't
you
talk
guys
about
go-
me enough anyway.
How
Well,
do
let's finish on Tommy. Yeah, so
Yeah, We'll come back to you, Jeannie, because this is your third
Well,
time
not
on the
because
show.
it's about me, but the
Dynamic.
role that
Well,
I've taken on,
Yes, right. We're gonna
and
talk
why
about
it's
that.
important.
Right,
Yeah.
but Tommy,
come
you know,
back to
I've seen him perform quite often
Yes.
in his duo,
Yeah.
Hudson
Hudson
Wales,
Ah.
with his life partner,
Yes,
or
I
a
love
partner.
it.
I don't want to make
Yeah.
any assumptions, you know,
Yes,
maybe
right.
only if he was here to let me know if that was an accurate statement.
Yeah. Well, he is here because
Oh, he
you
is?
guys are live. You know.
Oh, that's right. He's backstage.
Yes, he's in the green room waiting. And speaking of, we're gonna have you guys perform "Stranded."
Right now.
Yes, why
All
not?
right.
You ready for it?
Hey
Sure.
guys, let's go. We're gonna go
You
play
ready,
a song.
Tommy? You
I'm
ready?
ready.
Thierry, you guys ready?
Thierry.
So
T-Sauce.
Yeah.
Thierry.
Let's do
Thierry,
it.
what did I just call him?
Thierry.
Oh, well,
Thierry.
Cathead.
Thierry.
So how about "Stranded" live from Sonic Joyride, y'all? We'll be right back
All right.
with more live songs.
Oh, this is like a dream.
Oh my God, that was awesome. That was Stranded by Sonic Joyride, live here in the Sandbox Studio South at an undisclosed location. So talk about that song and flush out how you came to make the decision to go with Jeannie on vocals.
Okay. Well,
If you want.
no.
Why not?
Well, absolutely. I mean, so, the music and the band was, dormant because it just was painful, really. And I went through a whole career of other bands, pardon me, touring and as either sideman or I've been a vested member of the group. And never once did Sonic Joyride, I never intertwined, I never covered a song. I've always kept it private, really.
Yeah.
And since the stuff isn't commercially available, nobody asked me about it.
Yeah.
And frankly, the story is so fantastic that I don't think people would always believe me
Yeah.
about the bus and all the ball of twine
And I want to talk about that, but this song.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I am
'Cause it's
digressing.
your show. You're all show.
Yeah.
So this song, though, at Mike and I heard you perform it. I thought you mentioned it was only the.
No, that's not.
That's a
this
different
one?
one.
It's a different
one.
okay.
Yeah.
This song, so just to
Yeah,
help him out a little bit.
Yeah, help
So,
me out.
we're getting to know one another,
Yeah.
and he shared with me the Sonic Joyride CDs.
Right, yeah.
I
And
gave her. There's four. And
there's
I gave
four
her
of them.
four.
And
Yeah.
I had to drive to his house about 45 minutes each way, and was
Yeah.
because of my menagerie of animals. I have to go home frequently and take care of them and come back. And so I listened to them a lot and actually couldn't even stop listening to the first album. He's like, come on, you got to get to the next album.
I know,
'cause
I'm like,
I
hey,
loved it so much.
episode
It was
2.
such good music.
Yeah.
And I was drawn to it and just started asking a bunch of questions and was able to hear a lot of video. And when I came to the song Stranded, knowing the story of Christopher Hopper, I was like,
Yeah.
that's almost where he is right now.
Wow.
Because it talks about being stuck in paradise
Yeah.
and the songs are disappearing and he can't recognize himself anymore, but he understands what it is to be alive.
Yeah.
Finally, and so it's it almost brought me to tears the first time I
Do
actually
you
realized
feel-
that.
Do you feel him?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of times I'll be singing and just, I remember seeing a video of him singing the same song and try and emulate that because I want to honor
Yeah.
everything he did.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful, amazing lyrics.
Yeah.
And so I told Rick, I said, this song is Chris. Like this is where he is.
Yeah.
And he had not listened because his bass player.
All right. So as a bass player, I'm jamming
Say
along.
shameful.
This is not a singing bass player. So I'm jamming along to any particular song, one that could have been played for 20 years, and this is what I hear. And then I hear like the one, and there we go. It's like the cue.
Yeah.
I wait for the cue, and then I go. It's just ingrained.
Yeah.
And then when she started opening this door into
To the lyrics.
to lyrics, and I'm talking about any song I listen to.
Yeah.
I mean, words. I just, that's what it says.
Isn't that fascinating?
so
Yeah.
well because
As a
I'm-
bass player, you just don't.
yeah, and maybe other bass players can relate, maybe they don't. But
Yeah.
what I'm getting, where I live, the environment I live
Yeah.
in music is in the bass. And
Yeah.
of course, I
Yeah.
understand as a singer, and yes, I can,
Low end.
hear the words per
Jeannie,
se.
is that why those low end people are always overpowering the singers?
Probably.
Probably
But,
so, right?
But I'm not
They're like,
processing.
oh, well, we don't hear the words anyway. What do we care?
Right. Exactly.
Let me breathe.
But I'm not always processing the message.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when she started explaining to me, and I started realizing, wow. And then I started going back and looking over the catalog
Yeah.
and identifying other songs that tell a story that was almost of a hidden code.
Yeah.
I feel like I
All
know
time
him
still-
through the
yeah.
lyrics.
So how does it feel to be? I mean, and again, talk about the decision to.
So when she's telling me all this, again, how I told you earlier, how I
Yeah.
thought it was sacred,
Yes,
and
yes.
I didn't share it with anybody.
Yeah.
And then when she was teaching me about something that was so personal
Yeah.
and that I've been a part of for almost my entire adult life,
Yeah.
it was, and knowing where we're, our relationship had been coalescing and growing, because both of us, we had, it was, a long time before
Yeah.
I had given, permission for myself to be involved in a relationship. And so it's,
I have 6 animals for a reason.
and she's the
Kind
same
of
way.
barriers, Jeannie.
Right.
And you've written a book about one.
Right, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, I hope.
But then, then I'm lettering into something. So it seemed like it tracked
Yeah.
with the relationship, and so
Yes.
let me give you trust and give
Yes.
you something of mine. And then I learned about my own thing.
Yeah.
And so we had started doing duo work because
Yeah.
she had a solo career.
As Bass and Blades.
well,
Not
Oh,
before
not-
that.
not right
yeah,
away.
he just started coming out to my shows, and he'd come
okay.
up and sit in for a song
Yeah,
or two.
yeah.
And she
Okay.
asked if we could do some Sonic Joyride stuff, and I said,
Yeah.
sure. So we did a few.
Yeah.
And first of all, it felt amazing to do after all those
Yeah.
years. I mean, even then, but not even now. After you see us on stage, it's like
Yes.
the brain is unlocking those places. So I'm time traveling. I'm reconnecting.
Yeah.
I'm living in the now. I'm a conduit. These songs are the only living expression that can still
And it comes
touch people
across
in real time.
having, being in the audience here and you hear, and then also at Mad Life, it's palpable, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Chris is with us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's
Like
absolutely with us on
Yeah.
stage.
yeah, no question.
And
Wow.
especially since I'm triggering his guitar,
Yeah.
sounds that
Yes.
these are the exact sounds we use during the day. Like this is the show,
Yeah.
but in a maturer way. That's how I see Puzzle Truck as sort of my evolution
Yeah.
with Sonic. Like Sonic Joyride was my first real band for almost 12 years. That I started learning how to play the bass.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm playing with Puzzle Truck. That maturity as a musician
Yeah.
is kind of shining through there. And so now bringing turning the lights back on Sonic Joyride and actually almost packaging it with a touring buddy with Puzzle Truck, I get
It's a hand in glove, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
It's a
from
really-
my
Yeah.
being in the audience at Mad Life, there was a synergistic
Yeah.
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
between the two bands.
And that happened really quickly.
Yeah.
And when those things happen, you just sort of go with it, right?
Yes,
and
of
that's
course.
and so
You ride the vibe.
you ride the vibe.
That's right.
I love it.
And so
would
with-
you guys? Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's just a button up about Jeannie. So when we did a few tunes as a duo, the audience, it was amazing,
Yeah.
and that's when it clicked. Like the words, it's about the song,
Yeah.
just a guitar and me and her. And I said, well, wait a minute now. What if we, made it a little bit louder? And here we are.
Wow. You guys want to do another song?
Sure.
Hell
You want
yeah.
to do Don't Ask Why? What do you
Sure.
think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, we're going to do another live song from the Sandbox Studio South, Mike Natchez' Sandbox. And we got G on the technology and James Thomas on the social media. So stay with us because we got three more live songs, something like that. And more Cat Ed.
It's the vodka.
It's good Cat Ed, y'all.
Glorious moments, no one seems to deserve. Graciously straining a peer over the horizon and wake up beside her. Beautiful faces standing behind the mirror, reflecting innocent, so sincere they become. The sweet face of God. Don't ask why. Don't ask why. Just believe in the miracles raining down from the sky. Some of the people I thought I needed to live are merely relics I misunderstood. Now that I know what it means to live, don't ask why. Don't ask why. Just believe in the miracles raining down from the sky. Don't ask why. I believe in music and make believe, and you love me. You love me. I don't ask why. I don't ask why. I just believe in the miracles raining down from the sky. I don't ask why. I don't ask why. I just believe in the miracles raining down from the sky.
Oh my gosh, don't ask why. I want to ask why. I want to ask about that song. That was fantastic. Talk about that song. Talk about the bus.
If I could just say a couple
Yes,
things
Jeannie,
first.
you can say anything you want.
I think this is really important to recognize, again, kind of going back to the fact that Chris was a man. I'm female. And there's a very specific reason why that's important, I think, that I sing.
Yeah.
You know, I can harmonize with Chris as we do in Don't Ask Why. You know, we can celebrate Chris in every song.
Yeah.
And as I said, he's with us on stage, his guitars. It's still his show.
Yeah.
You know, the music that we're doing, he had prepared and got to play the show he had prepared for so long one time.
Yeah.
And
Only one.
Only one time.
How many times is this song?
Well, okay, so Sonic Joyride, this song is off the 4th record.
Okay. Yep.
And by that time, we had gone through this entire process of developing this bus concept
yeah.
and taking it around the country
Yeah.
and building up momentum through press. And that's when CNN and
Yeah.
MTV.
And flesh out the bus a little bit, Rick.
Okay, the bus was a school bus.
Yeah.
And we bought it because we wanted to use it to get to the gigs.
Yeah.
You know, we figured the back side stores the gear, the front side throws some good little couches in, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Painted all kinds
So
of
form
weird.
following function, you got it all there, and you
Yeah,
got the Ken Kinsey thing going.
Ken Keister.
Or Ken Keister, yeah.
Merry Pranksters.
Mary Prankster, yeah.
In fact, that's what CNN said. In their,
Oh, did they?
They said, unlike Ken Keister's Merry Pranksters of old, Sonic Joyride prefers the bus to four-poster bed.
Oh, my
Hailing from New
God, I
Hampshire.
love
I
it.
mean, I got it memorized.
See, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, and so
Even a
it had
blind
gone through a
squirrel.
couple different phases. At one point, so it was just the bus, and then we decided for some reason that we wanted to play on top of it. So we had a guy in town weld a platform, just a regular old platform, and we had to climb up there with our crap. The drummer at the time had like a really old. This is mid '90s, so like a Simmons drums. This is a terrible sound, Tama maybe, but it's still a terrible electronic drum set. Yeah. And we went to Florida and we played down there. We actually played at the children's home.
And you sought out these eclectic.
Well, not yet.
Oh,
No.
not okay.
No.
I'm getting ahead of the story.
Yeah, so no, so this is just us on top of the bus.
Okay.
And then we were like, this is great, but we hate carrying this crap on top of the bus. It'd be better if there was a big box.
Yeah.
Just open the lid and we just play. So we had the guy build a box
Yeah.
and with a lid, and we left all the stuff up there. And we, instead of the PA being on the ground, we cut holes and we shoved it in there. I had a professional welder do. We didn't physically do this.
Well, there's nothing like it. It's one of a kind.
Yeah. And so we went around, and then that was great. And then the last version, we were like, okay, now we want the box to pop up. We don't want to flip it up anymore. We want to just crank it up, and we want to attach video screens to it, and we want to have projectors that'll shoot video.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that was a culmination of an entire marketing campaign that started with the school bus, playing on top, guerrilla style, pulling up to the world's largest bottle of ketchup, the world's largest bottle of twine, house shaped like a shoe, the Golden Gate Bridge.
You'd researched, you'd mapped all these
Well,
out.
obviously, very early internet.
Yeah.
So we had the Roadside America actual book.
Yeah.
We had a triptych type of thing. Because we had our record company, we had management.
Triptych, y'all. Do you remember that?
And then we went on these things. Our publicist would advance every city.
Yeah.
And it was a thing. And we have, it's
People would show up and
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's the problem.
Yeah.
So the one story about that, the key to the city. We received the key to the city, Cawker City, where the world's largest. Well, I think it's disputed. There's a few places that think they have the world's largest ball of twine. As far as Sonic Joyride is concerned, the world's largest ball of twine is in Cawker City, Kansas.
Because you got the key to the city.
Two of them, actually, the front and back doors. So we
Not the jail, though.
Right. So MTV News, Kurt Loder, advanced. Took our EPK,
Rolling Stone fame,
and he put on a little, from another news from New Hampshire, the band Sonic Joyride, and they're using this eye-catching vehicle to promote their latest album, Bizarre.
Did he come out to see you guys?
No.
No.
Okay. I mean, the way that works is you send them your EPK.
Yeah.
They put their copy. That's how the media works. But still, I mean,
yes,
the
very
story
cool.
before us was Fish because they were from Vermont, and they were like, and another story. Anyway, So he announces he goes, we've played The Largest Bug already in Providence. And we're going to
cockroach.
we were going to play the world's largest ball of twine and the largest thermometer in Bakersfield, California. And he named the dates. But by the time we got to Kansas, we were a few days behind, our published schedule.
Right.
So when we finally get to this
Understandable.
we get to this pavilion and there's a giant ball of twine. We pull up in our bus. Now we're in Kansas. We started in New Hampshire, right? And we're going to California and back. So we're like, okay, all right, put up the lid. Let's play a show. Take some pictures. We were uploading everything to the internet. But we had to reduce it for 56K modems. We go to the truck stops. We pull out the telephone that used to sit on the in the booth, and you pop in your modem cable, your telephone cable, and you dial up your AOL, and you upload these tiny little videos that we took. So I have anyway. So we show up and a guy pulls up. He's like, "Hey, are you the MTV band?" And we're like, "Yeah, it's us." I guess so. All right, we've been waiting for you for 3 days.
No way.
He disappears. 20 minutes later, the whole town's there.
No.
Yeah. People dancing, and the mayor literally gives us the key to the city.
Oh my God, how cool is that?
Yeah. And so by that time, we took all that and we created the most sophisticated version of the bus. We had video screens now. It wasn't as campy. It's more like slick. And fun and Chris worked.
People loved it.
Yeah, and Chris worked
Loved the music.
really hard on the video presentations.
Yeah.
And Don't Ask Why was on the last record, and the tour for that album was starting. It was a radio giveaway. Because again, it was 90s was dominated by major labels. So we created a buzz with this bus. Now we've created. Give it to you as Dr. Doom DJ.
Yeah.
If you play our song for 2 weeks, 25 spins
wait
or
a minute,
more.
I'm the last DJ.
You're all right, last DJ.
No doom about
Then we'll
me.
give you our bus
That's
to
Rachel.
give away to a listener.
Yeah. Oh, give it away.
Correct. Because
A
it was
tour.
all
A tour,
about
yeah.
that was our value to you playing our song in heavy rotation for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so the first place that we did one show was in Danbury, Connecticut. My parents' friends won the contest completely
way.
randomly.
And it wasn't rigged.
Was not rigged.
All
My
right,
whole family flew in for this show. We played it in their backyard on top of our big bus.
Yeah.
And that was the last one.
Wow.
And
What year was that, Rick?
2000.
2000.
That was the last show, and my family was there. Yeah. And the next time that song was played was the show you were at, and my family was there as well. Wow. And it was during that show, that song,
that you felt.
that I knew that he was here.
Yeah.
And then Jeannie, at first I was thinking, we need to have a Chris. We need another Chris. And I'm like, that's why I never did Sonic Joyride.
Sure.
I put it on the stage again because there was no other Chris.
Right.
But then when my ears heard her sing and how the songs, it's a song, it's not a man.
Yeah.
He created a lyric that lives on, and it should.
Yes.
And as his brother from another mother and his longtime bandmate, I felt that power, and I'm blessed to continue in his name.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Well, you guys want to do another song?
Yeah.
Live in
Yes.
the Sandbox Studio South, Psychedelic Cowboy.
My hat.
Are you going to put your hat on?
I'm going
Jeannie,
to put
for
my
the-
hat on.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to preview it? Put that hat on.
Sure.
Let's see what it looks like. Oh, I love that.
Oh, wait.
And the glass. You got to get the
Goes
glasses.
like this, yeah. That's
Whoa,
my-
you
that's
look
my
like a Sonic Cow girl.
Right?
Yeah, I love it.
But,
Or
doesn't matter
psychedelic,
what gender
excuse
you
me.
are these days.
No, right. It's all good.
Right.
So Psychedelic Cowboy.
That's right.
All right, y'all. And then we'll be right back. And they're going to do one more live song. And it's very special. So stay with us through Psychedelic Cowboy, live from the Sandbox Studio South.
psychedelic cowboy with dreadlocks and a tulip in my holster. But what would you think of a cowboy with his own trippy posters? Ha ha ha! Yee-haw! I long to be a psychedelic cowboy of your dreams, and that's to all people who can fathom what it means to be a sideshow freak and be so proud of what you did since the time you were a little psychedelic cowboy kid. Oh. I long to be a psychedelic cowboy, wearing bearded chaps and loving hippie chicks. What would you think of my drumming psychic Terry and his quiver full of sticks? Yee-haw! I long to be a psychedelic cowboy with a purple leather vest and an 80-gallon hat. But what would you think of when I start to get confused and I go out watching cats? Yee-haw! I long to be a psychedelic cowboy of your dreams, and lasso all people who can't fathom what it means to be a sideshow freak and be so proud of what you did since the time you were a little psychedelic cowboy kid. I long to be a psychedelic cowboy of your dreams, and lasso all people who can't fathom what it means to be a sideshow freak and be so proud of what you did since the time you were a little psychedelic cowboy kid. I long to be a psychedelic cowboy of your dreams, and lasso all people who can't fathom what it means to be a sideshow freak and be so proud of what you did since the time you were a little psychedelic cowboy kid. Oh, oh, oh,
Oh my gosh. What a great song.
It's
I
fun.
think that might be, I don't like to say I have favorites. You know, like your dogs.
Right?
You don't have a favorite, but
No, they're all
no,
different.
They're all beautiful. They're all different. But I like that. Psychedelic Cowboy.
Thanks.
And the hat is awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
It is fun.
It's
So
fun
talk
to be a psychedelic.
cowboy, cowgirl, cowboy,
Cow something.
whatever, cow something. Yeah,
I get to scream a little bit.
yeah, that's different, and it's a departure for you.
Yes.
How do you feel
I love
going
it.
from singer songwriter and just
I love
doing
it.
acoustic
Yeah,
to now?
long ago I was in a band, and a lot of times through my career, people have said you should be in a band.
Yeah,
But you know, you have to pay the bills in a band. You have to share the
right.
the
money.
pay, and you have to
Yeah.
rehearse. Which I had kids, so I could not do
Yeah,
that.
do
So
that.
it's
So
fun to
now
do
it's
now with
brilliant.
but it's the right time. It's the right project.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to just be a cover band.
Yeah.
For songs I
No.
could do. I love
well,
doing
and Ride
cover
the Vibe.
songs.
We don't do cover bands.
Yeah,
We
and
wanna
I
promote
love playing
original.
cover songs because that's how I taught myself to play guitar. Is do
Sure.
cover songs.
Yeah.
But you know, doing original
Yeah.
music, this music,
Yeah.
there's probably not another band I would want to sing in.
No.
Truthfully, yeah.
And this music, this song, Rick, 20 years written ago? 20? How?
It's 25.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
And so,
And
oh no,
really-
I'm sorry. The
Sonic-
one we just played,
Psychedelic
Cowboy. That's off the second record, 1997.
But still, even the most current,
Yeah.
even
Almost 30 years.
Yeah, I mean,
quite
yeah,
like
really,
30
and
years.
that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
And it's
crazy.
great that the bass that I'm playing
Yeah.
is the same bass I played through all those records.
It's been fun to watch him relearn the parts he wrote
Oh my!
as a young man.
because they they unlock in my brain.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's because
That's kind of surreal.
well, you
Yeah.
evolve as a certain, your playing evolves, right?
Yeah.
And you don't. It's not something. It's like almost not quite as slow as geological time.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
a glacier.
Yeah.
But it takes 30 years,
Right,
to craft, as you go,
yeah.
and to jump back into something that I was 21, 23,
Yeah.
20, within the first 10 years of being a bass player,
Yeah.
even.
How's that feel? How do you?
Well, to unclick, it's amazingly fulfilling.
Yeah.
And it's almost transcendental. Like
Yeah.
I could go back and forth,
Yeah.
and I can bring it forward, or I can, or I'm teaching myself something that maybe I had forgotten, or
Yeah.
or went another direction. And sometimes I realize, wow, I really made that difficult.
Yeah.
Didn't need to. I could have played it a lot simpler.
Well, you can look at life two different ways, right? Time is either linear or it's
Mm-hmm.
stackable.
I believe it's stackable.
Yes, it's all happening at the same time.
No, it
Right,
is. Like
right.
this moment's happened
Right.
before, and
Before,
the
of
others
course.
happen again.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing when you're and it's happening in your brain.
Yeah. I'm exactly there with you all.
Yeah, no, that's
That's
incredible.
cool.
And the Psychedelic Cowboy, how the last song, Don't Ask
Yeah.
Why, was an extremely moving song.
Yeah.
And where this one, my reaction is just celebration.
Yeah, fun.
And fun.
Yeah.
And Chris, what he's singing about there, it's okay to be different. It's
Yeah.
okay. In fact, just follow your dream, follow your passion. Don't
Absolutely.
don't follow the
Herd.
method that everyone else
That's
wants you to
boring,
go.
man.
Right.
Yeah.
Be your own man.
Yeah. Be
and
that
follow your
psychedelic
dream.
cowboy.
Right.
Right. And yeah, I mean, if there's a song, I think that embodies Chris, it's Psychedelic
His
Cowboy.
his
Yeah,
persona.
because he was not going to give in to
Yeah.
the way things were being done by,
Yeah. the industry and
the
anything
industry
else.
or anyone else telling him what to do. He was going to
Yeah.
do it himself the way he wanted to do
I
it.
love it.
Yeah.
And we are going to be honored. Ride the Vibe is having a 7th anniversary party right here at the Sandbox.
Fantastic.
And we're going to have Sonic Joyride
That's right.
performing
We're excited.
along with Puzzle Truck.
That's right.
That's right.
How cool is that? So that's
Soul
going to be
puzzle.
incredible.
No. Puzzle ride.
Puzzle something's it's all good.
Right.
Yeah.
Joy truck.
So we're going to segue slightly because out of Rick kind of hopping up on stage occasionally with you
Mm-hmm.
when you were doing gigs was born Bass and Blades.
That's right. Yeah.
So kind of talk a little bit about Bass and Blades and this song that you wrote and how that came, because it's a love story.
It is
Yeah.
a
And I
bit of
love a love
All right, so
story.
let-
Everybody loves a love
Let me talk
story.
about Bass and Blades quickly, and then she can
Yes,
have the
yes.
serious, real
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, because it's a. We were doing the duo before, and I was
Yeah.
having some trouble with my tires, or my I don't know, my car in general,
Yeah.
and I took it to a place on her request that they did free estimates. I was going to go on YouTube and just learn how to completely destroy my hands and
Because you're
destroy
very
my
handy.
car.
You're a handy guy.
He is handy, but he does not need to destroy his hands
right.
as a
Bass
bass
player,
player.
no.
So
Yeah.
reluctantly,
Not a good thing.
Right.
reluctantly, I took my vehicle to this place.
Yes.
7 hours later, the free estimate, my car comes out of the bay. I swear, it looked like it had, the
Cartoon.
like misshapen wheels almost. It was like something like Clark
Worse
Griswold.
than when you brought it in.
Yeah, like the Clark Griswold family's truckster.
Flintstones.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Cub calves.
They forgot to tighten the lug nuts.
They didn't tighten the lug nuts. They totally stripped the thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm out in the little bench outside the garage, and in a former life, Jeannie was a school teacher.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she goes into like mom school teacher combo hybrid attack mode.
I'm also a brown belt.
Oh, she's also all right.
Oh, I did
Well,
not
that comes
know
out.
I'm glad I'm staying on your good side.
I didn't know this. So she's a
Yeah.
brown belt. So I'm
Yeah.
sitting out there trying to like just mind my own business,
Yeah.
but feel upset. And I'm like, I came up with this idea of like, she's just being really belligerent and like,
No, it's polite.
she was polite.
So like a ninja.
Well, no, not yet.
Oh, not
no,
yet.
No, no.
Okay.
She gets kidnapped,
Oh.
right? And then she gets, and I don't know what happens to her.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the bench for like the rest of the night, and my girlfriend's gone.
Yeah.
And I go home, and I can't find her anywhere. And then like 2 weeks later, she shows back up, and she's like, "Oh, makes up some story." And I'm just like, I'm just a naive bass player. I
This
don't
is
know.
in his mind, by the
Yes,
way.
of course.
Yeah.
I was figuring that The Cathead's good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cathead.
Well, anyway,
it's
long story
we're
short-
not
Cathead is
hallucinating here on the
amazing.
show.
Long
We
story-
are- we're
long
having a
story
good-
short,
we
I,
are enjoying it, but we're not
While he's
hallucinating.
on the bench, all these things are happening
and
in
I'm
his
working
brain.
with ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, hey, let's come up with a show here. This is something good's going to come out of this experience.
of course, yeah.
And so basically, she was kidnapped by the
Yeah,
people because
yeah.
the reason they were inept is they weren't really mechanics. It was a
yeah.
front for a black ops sort of like mercenary
my
deal.
gosh,
They liked her.
yes.
They
Again,
liked her.
in his mind.
They
Yes,
liked
yeah.
her gusto, and her.
As an English teacher, though, you would give
I
him an
loved
A.
it. I
wouldn't you?
taught
Yes, of
creative
course,
writing for
yes.
many years.
And
It's
so
wonderful.
she gets
Yeah.
trained and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and now she's back. And so the perfect cover for her mission is to go out playing these duo
yes.
gigs all over the country,
Yes.
and song requests come in
Yes.
and are secret like mission
Yes.
codes.
Yeah.
And she goes out and does a thing. So it's called Bass and Blades because
Yeah.
she's kind of like an alter ego
Yeah.
of a knife sword
Yes.
wielding.
crime
around
fighter. I'm a
Right.
crime fighter.
But
Yeah.
my show went really nowhere. Well, it's still dormant. Of course, I just gave everyone the idea. Hey, hello, don't steal my idea. Please give me some credit.
This was Rick Reese.
I forgot all
Meanwhile,
that.
I did take those gentlemen to task for
Yeah.
the mess they made on his
Of
vehicle.
course.
You didn't use any brown belt because
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
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 So we have the name.
My teacher voice, maybe.
And then we just do these gigs.
Your teacher voice.
But there's
Oh,
no
boy.
crime fighting. We just
Yeah.
do gigs now. So it's kind of like Bass
So
and
where
Blades.
can they find you? Bass and Blades.
www.bassandblades.com. We
Perfect.
play shows all around Atlanta, North Georgia.
Yeah, and you do private events.
We do private
In
events.
fact, you're going to do an event.
A very
up in
special
the
birthday party.
A North Georgia mountains.
That's right.
At a birthday party that's going to have a petting zoo.
I know.
How
I'm so
cool is that?
excited.
Dude,
I'm
I love
so
that.
excited.
Yeah, and Tank is a
Yeah.
little miniature Highland cow. He's the
Nice.
star of the show. Well, he won't be the star of the show.
Yeah.
It'll
well,
of course be Bass
he
and
might
Blades.
still be the star.
So how about if you guys do this song live, The Promise,
Mm-hmm.
and then come back and talk about how impactful, the genesis of it.
Of course. Yeah.
So we're going to hear live at the Sandbox Studio South. Is this one of the first times this has been
It's the first time. One of the first times it's been recorded. Yeah.
recorded? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Promise by Bass and Blades.
I'd rather die on an airplane so I'd high through the sky than remain alone without you holding me every night. I'd rather live without money in steep poverty than spend a moment without a promise with thee.
Oh my God, I love that. The Promise by Bass and Blades.
That's right.
Live in the Sandbox Studio South. Mike Natchez, the G, and the James. Talk about that song. You wrote that, Jeannie Caryn.
Well, yes, there's some backstory, of course.
Of course.
Um,
And we want to
Rick
hear
and
it
Steven.
here on Rod.
as they would like to tell you,
Yeah.
had a wonderful opportunity
Yeah.
to go play
Magical
with
form.
Eddie Munoz of the Plimsouls
Yeah.
and the Totally Tubular tour that happened in 2024.
Yeah.
28 plus cities in across America and up to
And there was a
Canada.
petting zoo.
And there was
No
a petting
way.
zoo.
The last
Yes.
gig.
There was a
Yes.
petting
The last
zoo.
gig in Detroit, Cleveland. I think it was Cleveland, outside of Cleveland,
Yeah.
amphitheater.
Wow.
I forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
A very large one.
Yeah.
We show up at the gig. You come up to the back area, and they literally had a petting
That's
zoo.
right. That's
And I
right.
got the pet ducks and
Dex
and
sent me
things and-
pictures because we had started talking in January of 2024. We were
Yeah.
friends for, as I think he mentioned, about 8 years
Yeah.
prior to any kind of romance
Yes,
happening.
Yes.
Started talking a little more.
Friendship first. Good foundation.
Friendship first.
Oh, without a doubt.
And, as the year progressed, we were talking about, how do we book at festivals and
Yeah.
things like that. And luckily, upon opening a Facebook account, they were able to get picked up for this tour.
Yeah.
Both phenomenal players. Steven's
Yeah.
vocals are great, and his bass playing, of course,
Yeah.
is incomparable to others.
Yeah.
So they were picked up by Eddie Munoz of the Plimsouls.
Yeah.
Got to go on tour, and luckily I was able to go visit them twice. Once in L.A. because my daughter had an internship out there in L.A. and I took my son. And we went to visit her. At the same time, they happened to be at YouTube Theater.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I should go back again by myself. It's fun with the kids, but it's more fun when you're not, sometimes with the kids. And so I
Check and see if he's, the groupie thing.
well,
What,
I
you
had
gotta
to
check up
know
on
where
him.
this
Yeah,
seemed to be going a certain direction,
Yeah,
and I had to
yeah,
know. And
yeah.
so I flew to New York City, and they had a show up at Pier 17
Yeah.
where you could see the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
But
It's a
you're on
great
the plane.
stage.
You're on the plane. No.
And I'm driving to the airport, and there's just
driving, yeah.
every song on the radio seemed to be very bass heavy. It was very
Yeah.
odd. A lot of Chili Peppers and things.
Yeah.
And then
just no random, but it's just
no,
that's
it's
the way
Chili
it's
Peppers,
coming up.
Sublime, all
Yeah.
these very heavy bass
Yeah, yeah.
type bands that were on the radio.
Yeah.
And then I get on the plane, and I'm, what am I doing here? I have children, I have dogs. I haven't gone anywhere in about 5 years, like
Yeah.
literally nowhere
Yeah.
in about 5 years. But I'm except for LA, I'm going to New York,
Yeah.
to visit, my
Yeah.
two friends,
Yeah.
and see if one friend,
gonna be-
has more potential than I.
Yeah.
But now there was someone
passed
in
the
the running.
audition.
What is
No,
Literally
I
passed
just
the
needed to know. I needed to
Yeah.
figure things out.
Yeah.
So I went to New York, and on the plane there, the song just poured into my little notebook.
Yeah.
And that's
Literally-
how I
literally.
I mean, that's how
Yeah.
I write songs anyway. They
Yeah.
just
Come to you.
somehow come from
Yeah.
the universe or whatever you believe, and pour it through
Those are
my
the best
brain.
ones.
And
Yeah.
I have the melody and the
Yeah,
lyrics.
yeah,
I mean,
all of
everything's
it.
done. Like it
Right,
was done
right.
before I got off the plane.
Yeah.
Except for the bass parts, of course,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
and
I
of course it was
love
my
it.
own secret because I wasn't going to tell him, hey, I wrote a song about you,
I never. I don't want to say never because I don't want to. In case someone's written a song about me, I'm sorry. I don't know if I forgot.
But
But
you
I
don't
believe it's the
believe-
first time a song
Yeah.
has been written about me, especially
Yeah.
like
I
a
love it.
love song.
And then just
maybe there's
do
some
you
other
wanna-
kind of songs written
Do you
about
want to
you.
divulge the?
Yeah, there probably is
Do
a
you want
few
to
of
divulge the other part? Or is it secret?
After at the
the-
gig.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
we'll just
so,
wrap up with
okay,
that.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'll just. Tell
Do you want to
okay.
just come out and say
Well,
it?
see, I have to figure things out, and I don't have a lot of patience.
right,
There's
right.
life is short.
Yeah.
You got to figure things
Yeah,
out.
better late than
You
never.
know. So luckily, he had his backstage pass.
Yeah.
And he took Stevens.
Nice.
Well, she was
Steven,
at
thank you.
Steven and Jeannie were at the tequila
We're best
bar.
buddies. We're
Yeah.
best
Now
buddies.
this venue is on top of a building at the harbor of New York,
That's
right?
beautiful.
So
Beautiful.
it's
yeah.
so she's
Very romantic.
they're out there. I go down. I come out.
See, you don't need to watch Bachelorette. Just watch Ride the Vibe, y'all.
That's right.
Oh man, is there a pay version of this?
Yes, there is. Or there will be.
Can monetize that. So then, anyway,
Yeah.
So I didn't. For some reason, she didn't get a backstage
pass.
thing.
Yeah.
Well, technical things.
But it's all
But it's
right.
Bow Wow Wow, Modern
Yeah.
English, Tommy Two-Tone,
Yeah.
Thomas Dolby. It's a great concert.
Yeah.
Super fun. You
And
know?
it's romantic.
And I'm happy to be there. But he takes me backstage
Well, I grab Steven's laminate
Yeah.
and I give it to her. So now he's trapped out there.
at the tequila bar with all of his
All right,
fans.
cut. We're not telling you anymore. You got to pay for the subscription to hear the rest of the story.
So yeah, the paywall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I take her backstage and I say, oh, here I'm all like, check
Bow
this
Wow
out.
Wow's on the stage.
Yeah, Bow Wow's like, oh, she's wanting candy.
which is one of my favorite bands in the
Yeah.
80s. You know.
Yep. And then I proceed to take her down the stairs because to get to the dressing rooms, you got to go down into the building.
Right.
Okay.
And we get
Drum
our first
roll. Where's our drummer?
Well, there's this little corner, you know.
corner.
Where's Thierry with our...
on the drum roll.
Thierry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just got to try something. Come here, kind
and
of
you
thing.
literally
Yeah. That was amazing. That's never
and kissed him.
sure did.
Oh my
Right on.
God, y'all! You are hearing it first, maybe on a broadcast.
Right. It was great.
So
It was
not
really
only
great.
is it great music on Ride the Vibe, but you get backstories like this.
Yeah, it was a great kiss. I'm like, okay.
That's
all right.
it. Sealed.
All right.
Signed, sealed, and delivered,
Right.
as
And then
Stevie
who was
Wonder
it
would
that
say.
saw us like right after?
My Mick,
Yeah, it's
the
great.
bassist for Modern English.
Oh my
Like I
God.
was
And he was coming up the stairs, and we're going down the stairs, like
Yeah.
whoa, I was like, hey, we just kissed, like
But he's
he goes, yeah, he's English, of
English,
course,
yes,
and he
yeah.
goes, that's brilliant.
in that subdued English way.
But,
they do.
but it just made it magic. It was like we confirmed, like we were, it was the first person we could tell, and
Yeah.
it was just,
Right.
So
like, it
you
was
heard
amazing.
it first, there. Rick. Well,
Well,
this is,
it's
this
just,
has just been a
That's
gas,
fine.
y'all. And an honor to the first show, Ride the Vibe show, where we've had 4 songs live. So what a treat for Mike and Giuseppe and James to have you all in here performing. Can't
Thank
wait
you.
for the 18th. It's sold out, y'all, so you can't come. And we're not telling you where the studio is. Parting thoughts, comments, anything that I didn't get to?
Well, I just like to say that we so appreciate you and all the support you
Absolutely.
give us, and whether it's help with the little paddle boat or maneuvering different ideas we have in our brains, or inviting us to do such a fun performance. We appreciate you very much.
Paddle boat. That's kind of obscure reference. We're boat people.
Yeah, we're all boat
You know,
people.
You want to
Boat
show your
people.
T-shirt, Rick?
Oh yeah, actually, today
Very
is
poignant.
Yeah.
It says the boat sank. Get over it. Today
Jeannie,
is.
you want to give him a kiss as we roll out of the show or not? No.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like newlywed game.
I know. I think.
Well, I just
But I'm not
rejected-
asking. I'm not gonna. What was it? What did you tell me? Who's the guy that was on the Newlywed Game? And that famous.
Chuck Willery.
Yeah.
No. That's
No.
no.
And
Bob
the famous
Eubanks.
question.
Bob Eubanks.
Bob Eubanks asking the question: when was the first
Yeah, we're not
time
gonna
you made
answer that.
whoopee? No.
I
And
can
on
talk
that
about
note,
that.
We are
No.
out of here. Michael Litten, the last DJ, host of Ride the Vibe. Better late than never, you all.
But it's not too late to set the record straight. Better get her done, son, 'cause the hour is growing late. Maybe there's a DJ out there somewhere who has a few regrets and a list of things that he meant to do but hasn't gotten